everybody. Hope everyone's having a great Saturday. It's that time of the week where we interview ecosystem partners throughout crypto. And today we're going to be having xolosArmy with Fernando. I'm sorry if I butchered that pronunciation. I am a gringo. I am doing my best out there. So all my Mexican compadres, don't kill me. I'm a gringo, like I said. Let's get this introduction out of the way, you guys. For those who have not heard, THORChain is the world's leading Bitcoin DEX. You can swap 13 different blockchains across 41 different pools without using bridges or wrap tokens. Check it out at swap.thorchain.org, swap.thorchain.org. Anyone in the world can use THORChain. There's no account to open, no KYC required, and privacy is a human right. THORChain has two tokens, Rune and TCY. The fees for swapping on THORChain are paid in Rune, and that's where the yield comes from. The fees are deducted from swaps, so you don't need to own Rune to trade on THORChain. It's pretty cool. The Rune token is also deflationary, as 5% of the fees are burned. 10% of the protocol fees goes to TCY token holders. Remember to stake the TCY tokens in order to collect this yield. There are no block rewards on THORChain. The protocol fees are real money paid by real users. THORChain is more than just a DEX. It is a programmable layer 1 with the ability to create smart contracts and dApps. This app layer is being developed by Ruggira. Guys, if you need help with THORChain in general, please join the THORChain community Discord and Telegram group. Links for those are on thorchain.org, thorchain.org. And on thorchain.org, you can join our email list. It's the best way to stay up to date with THORChain. Do it, you guys. And always remember, this podcast is for information and educational purposes only and does not constitute financial investment or legal advice. The THORChain community does not endorse or condone illicit activity of any kind whatsoever. And with that out of the way, you guys, what's going on? My name is Denny. I go by Patriot Sounds on X. I've been educating for THORChain for quite a while now, about going on 6 years. Just a reminder to everyone, if you're watching the recording of this video, this is probably not topical, but THORChain is currently paused. We are in the process of recovering post a certain event. So hopefully if you're watching this, we are good to go. And with that being out of the way, guys, I'm going to kick it to my main man, Kenton. Kenton, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, good, thanks. I actually feel bad. As you're doing the intro, I totally forgot to check Discord to see where we're at in the process of resuming trading. I don't know if you checked.
I do. So
Back
we
me up.
are, yeah. So we are still on step 5. The key verify has not worked as far as I know. So Chad Barraford, that is the core dev of THORChain, said we will likely just push on without it. It was a good, valiant attempt, but it's just simply not working, and the protocol needs to go back online. Based on everything we have seen and heard, the odds that another node operator is a bad actor is very, very small. But we wanted to do the key verify just to be 100%, with it and on it. But if key verify is simply not working, we can't hack it together. We'll just push forward. It should be really low. I'll kick it back to you, Kenton.
Okay, then after it's like one or two nodes that are not key verifying,
Yeah.
and it's issues with the node somehow. Something's not working right. I think it's a similar reason why we get stuck churning, and why churns can last for
Correct.
days. And so it's a we don't know for sure, but we're highly confident it's not anything malicious. But then so after that, then the next step is churning, and churning the vaults, churning the nodes. That could take a few hours, could take a few days. Sometimes it takes over a week. So we really don't know. It's just the reason why it can take longer is just kind of bugs in the code, you guys, or just bugs in the process. There's no real rhyme or reason. So that'll be the next major hurdle. Once churning is done, once the churn's complete, then it should move pretty quick. Take a few hours to basically unhalt trading and resume trading again. From marketing side, I got really nothing to talk about, nothing new. Actually, I kind of took yesterday off, Juneteenth. I'm like, I need to take a break. I take some days off here and there. I went diving. First time I've been
Good.
diving in a while. Yeah, I was gonna tell you, Danny.
Good.
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Yeah. I'm trying to stall a bit because we lost Fernando. So I don't know if
Yeah,
hopefully,
well, he'll join. He looked like his
yeah.
his connection was a little dodgy there. But dude, I'm so
Yeah.
glad you went diving because man, that's what it's all about. There is nothing more. You guys, if you've never gone scuba diving, you need to give it a shot. Being weightless underwater, I mean, it's just most incredible, relaxing experience. And we all work pretty hard, so
Yeah.
yeah,
It was
diving's legit.
a buddy of mine had a boat booked and he had some people drop out. So it's basically a free dive for me.
Dude,
And
win.
but when you're done diving, you're just super relaxed. Because like
Yes.
I don't know if it's breathing the oxygen, breathing the air or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
or when you dive, it forces you to breathe more slowly or controlled. And when you're done, it's just like you're just super relaxed and chill. And so we hung out on the beach and had some beers. And I got home like I don't feel like doing anything. I just watched TV and doom scrolled Twitter. Um, uh, yeah, that was nice. But
Yeah, that's what.
maybe we should. I don't know
Yeah,
what
we'll
we
reach
should do
out to
here.
Solos. Let me see how.
He was just on,
Yeah, but
guys. Well, actually, well, yeah, you saw him. He was on the. He was already here on the recording.
yeah, he was.
Um, but he's pretty keen. He's pretty eager, you guys, to get working with THORChain. So I'm excited to have him on.
Yeah, I just texted him, message a message. Maybe he's having internet connections or whatnot. I know he was changing some things, so hopefully he joins here quickly.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely. We love, and it's because, like to your point, Kenton, they've shown a lot of initiative to get on THORChain, and
Oh
that's the
yeah.
one thing we really like, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's what it's all about. So
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. That's why I'm looking forward to talking to him because I don't know anything about eCash. Uh,
I don't either.
it's based on Bitcoin or something, right? Um, but he's yeah. I don't want to kind of ruin it. I want him to tell the story, but he's like a community. This is like a community led thing with getting eCash on THORChain. There's no one from the official foundation or anything like that. These are people like decentralization, people getting involved and getting active. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, very cool. Yeah. Because that's the one thing we talk about on this podcast is you got to get those communities that are super passionate, right? And like you said, I think you said this in the last podcast, Kenton, is once you get those people in the network, they become like the best marketers for THORChain because they're so excited, they're so eager to get going because they're not established in any way. When you're on THORChain, for any project who may be listening to this recording, when you are on THORChain, you then have direct permissionless access to a variety of layer one liquidity, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Doge, soon Zcash, XMR, many other privacy coins, AVAX, Ethereum, stable coins. It goes on and on and on. This is how you get really started because for a lot of projects, I wonder how many projects have died because they simply could not afford to get on a centralized exchange like Binance, right? And they just could not get recognition or any type of penetration into the market. With THORChain, we don't charge anyone to be on THORChain. If you are just willing to put in the work to help us develop the chain client, and then seed some liquidity in the pools, that's pretty much it. You just have to talk to our engineers, make sure the chain client's right. Everything looks good and legit, and they're the experts on that. But once those steps are have been accomplished, then we are off to the races. So
Well,
yeah,
it's not even about you said if they can't afford to get on Binance and then they maybe weather away. A lot of them can afford to get on Binance and then they wither away because Binance, I
yeah,
mean, they're just
true.
dumping the tokens on them, right? And so, um, so I have in Cayman is like a crypto hub for foundations and projects and stuff like that, and there's some businesses here that specialize in like the TGEs, launching tokens, getting these crypto foundations set up with bank accounts, all this kind of stuff. And one of their roles is helping the project find market makers and get listed on centralized exchanges. And these market makers, it's a giant racket. Like they want X% of the token supply, and they just dump. And it's such a lucrative business for them. They'll actually bribe uh, employees of these firms so that on the operation side, so that they go to their projects, their clients, and send them to these market makers. And so this is how much money the market makers are getting from dumping the tokens that they want to bribe and pay to get these guys get these projects on their sex. We got two Fernandos. You're dude.
Yeah,
Uh,
Fernando squared.
there we go. Okay. um, but anyway, so just finish. So just finish that thought quick. Um, like we're at a point where like these projects should avoid Binance and some of these market makers, right? And use the THORChain market maker. And the real cost is just them adding their liquidity, and which they own and control. They have the keys of, and it's not like THORChain is arbitrarily dumping on them. So if the project has, if they get exposed to impermanent loss, that's their cost of doing business, not having THORChain dump. Fernando, how are you doing there, buddy?
Yeah, Fernando, I know you're having a little bit of issues there, and no stress, man. This is a live show, obviously, but the recordings, obviously, we're going to be showing clips post this moment, so no big deal. Figure it out.
If you can only do audio, that's fine. We can.
Yeah,
If you
we'll
can't,
work around that.
if you're having problems with your camera, um, but yeah. So that's what when I go down the thought process of getting all these other projects, like the network effects from that can be huge. And like you said, Denny, like these guys become cheerleaders for us. It's not really for us; it's they're cheerleading themselves. We get it indirectly, right?
Right, exactly.
Right, and then so another reason these projects tokens want to get on Binance or Coinbase or whatever is access to buyers, to users, right? The people buy their token. Well, what does Coinbase have? 100 million accounts. I think Binance about the same, maybe 150 million. When you're on THORChain, you literally have access to hundreds of millions of people that have a wallet, and like anyone in the world can use it. Like you don't have to worry about getting on 10 different centralized exchanges to access all these different people around the world. You get on THORChain, everyone in the world can use THORChain. Like in theory, you could be on THORChain and not have to go anywhere else because everyone can use THORChain. Like
Yeah,
so
I think that's the way it's going to be in the future, right? I mean,
yeah,
this is clearly superior because all the
yeah,
DEX aggregation pathways, not only just, our own API endpoints, but, like you said, the moment you are connected or on THORChain, you immediately, like the world just opens up. It's like,
yeah,
reminds me of Neo during the Matrix with all those doors in the hallway, except all the doors open all at once.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And instead of
yeah.
agents, a bunch of friends come in, welcome to the party. You know what I mean? That's what kind of reminds me of. So yeah,
Yeah,
super powerful.
behind the main door is the architect. That's THORChain. We're the
Yeah.
architect.
And he's a super
Um,
cool hippie guy, just like, what's up, bro? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. But
yeah.
so I want to ask Chad this. I was thinking about it actually yesterday. I want to ask Chad this on Thursday. Like, what if a project, they're only listed on THORChain and nowhere else? Then
Yeah.
that means there's no arbitrage going on, and then the price of the token is just following the XY curve on THORChain's pool, and then the token will be following the XY curve based on the trading activity, and then the market price would be based on Rune's price, right? So if you have
Yeah.
token XYZ and it's paired with Rune, as the Rune price goes up or down, the token price will go up and down, right? So that the token, if there's no trading being done, the token price will just fluctuate with the Rune price. I would assume, I would think, right? And
Yeah.
so,
I think so.
um, so it'd be interesting to know. It'd be really interesting to see that, to have a token only listed on THORChain and how its price performs. Um, and I wonder, would it actually perform better than being on a SEX? Because imagine you're a brand new project and whatever, these guys launch with arbitrary valuations. I was talking to a guy the other day, again, a friend of mine who works at one of these like companies, that like operation companies, and he's going through a TGE right now where he's helping them launch the token, get market makers, all kind of stuff. And I asked him, I told him, like, dude, get your token on THORChain, get this thing on THORChain. And he's like, well, and I'm thinking he's like, I don't know about THORChain. I'm like, come on, man, what's the problem? No, he's like, I don't want to waste anyone's time. He's like, I think this is a piece of garbage. He's like, I think it's gonna collapse. Like, they're launching with like a 600 million valuation, and he's like, I think this thing is just going like it's just gonna collapse in price, and but if it'll collapse because the market makers all have allocations, and there's going to be constant selling, right? And but if that project want to keep its valuation, I wonder how that would work if you wanted to just launch your token only on THORChain. How would you? I wonder how it would work. How you could like set your valuation with
Yeah.
like, how do you, when you add your tokens to the pool on THORChain? I wonder I don't know how that would work.
You'd have to have some sort of agreement, right? Because, well, if they take,
Yeah,
yeah,
but if you
how
have
would that
10
work?
grand of Rune and 10 grand
Right.
of your token, how do you know it's
Right.
10? What's saying is 10 grand of
Right,
your token? I
exactly.
guess
And
you just,
if it immediately gets sold into the pool, then the total, yeah, oh fuck, yeah, the pool, and if the value quickly goes down, then the rune in the pool would go below 10, and then the pool would just churn out right real quick. Yeah, that's interesting,
well,
huh?
assume the pool just stays. We'll assume the pool is there.
Yeah,
It doesn't get churned out. But like, I don't know how we set the price of the token, because that was always the thing is we need arbitrage to help set prices on THORChain, right? And anyways, I don't know. I haven't off the top of my head. I can't figure that out. So maybe Chad's brain can help us. But anyway, the pool price for that token, the price for that token, if the project only put in say 50 grand, but they own the rest of the token. So if people are buying from that pool, it's just buy pressure, right? There's no arbs coming in to reset the price lower. It's just buy pressure. And so they're just following the XY curve, driving the token up. And then if the project wants to like add liquidity or help like bring the price down, then they can sell their tokens into the pool.
yeah.
So I like to
Well,
think it'd be a much cleaner, more honest way for a token to launch and for price stability on post launch, and
right.
the project would be able to control the price a bit more than say the market maker.
Right.
Um,
And in that case, if there is no other external market, then they would have to be the sole. There could be no subsidy. They would have to provide all liquidity for the pool
yeah,
themselves,
yeah,
right? Because they
yeah,
could just rug the half value from the rune. So,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, I think that
yeah,
I think that works. And it'd
yeah.
be funny, Kenton, if your logic it goes to the extreme where people like being on THORChain exclusively is so good that they literally beg centralized exchanges, do not add us, do not add us, we do not want you. You know what I mean? That would be
Yeah,
such a funny flip of the script, where being on
yeah,
centralized exchange is actually negative.
yeah.
Fernando, do you want to check your mic there, buddy? I
Okay. I am very sorry. Like,
don't
I don't
worry,
know
it's
Okay,
what
okay.
happened.
Don't
that's
worry, man.
Well, this
okay.
was meant to be, I
Super
think.
chill. It's
Okay.
totally
Yeah.
okay, man. No big deal. Like I said, this we're gonna have a recording of this, and there'll be clips, so
Yes.
totally good.
Yes.
Don't worry
This is
about it.
very, very typical when xolosArmy is doing media of any kind. Like, do you hear me, guys?
It's cutting in and out. It's
A
hard to
little
hear
bit,
you.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Well, it is very typical for us. We do media as you guys, but we are not so clean on our media. So, we do content with short sprinkles, and everybody knows this. Like BCH community, eCash, other communities that have Dash, for example. uh, Joel
Fernando,
has
I'm sorry.
done a lot of content with us, and also like it's kind of noisy sometimes. So sorry for that. Like it's something very common for us.
I
I have a hard
understand.
time hearing you. Can you hear him, Denny?
Yeah, I can understand you a little bit, Fernando.
Okay.
I don't know how many mics you have. It might be good if you try to just cycle mics, and we can just do microphone only, and then in the recording we can kind of just superimpose a picture. If the maybe the video part is crushing your connection a little bit, so maybe
Maybe.
try
Yeah.
make microphone only, and then then the conversation can
Do
start.
you hear me?
Keep
We
talking,
can hear you. We
please.
can hear you. Keep talking and see if
Okay,
we can.
you can hear me. So as I told you guys, xolosArmy like do content very frequently, but it is very common for us to have this kind of, for example, noises of cholos quinkles and all this kind of stuff. And a lot of people in a lot of communities in crypto like already know this kind of stuff happens with us. Like they laugh like when it happens. Okay, it is very comical because it is very common. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm sorry for that, guys. I know that you
don't
guys are
worry.
very clean on
Do
content.
not worry.
It's
Hey,
okay.
hey,
No
brother,
problem, man.
Sorry,
No
Fernando,
stress.
Fernando,
sorry for
you
that.
don't need to
Yeah,
No
apologize. It's
stress.
totally
like
okay,
Yeah.
man.
actually,
I know
quickly
you're doing your
cross
best.
here and like kind of I don't know what happened,
Don't
but
worry.
it
Don't.
crosses.
Hey, Fernando, do
Yeah,
not worry.
Yeah.
It's totally
Yeah.
okay. So no big deal, man. So we're gonna just start this fresh. Again, this is recording, so we're gonna just be pulling clips from this. No big deal, man. So
yeah,
okay, Fernando, would you mind just giving an introduction of yourself just to the audience? You know what I mean, and then
yeah.
maybe just talk a little about from Cholos Army. Then, all right, there. Excuse me.
Okay, okay. So I'm Fernando. I'm from Mexico. Okay, I have been in crypto since 2017. But back then, I was interested, for example, in the business side of crypto, right? Like in smart contracts and all that kind of stuff. Then, very recently, like in 2020, when Rona started, like I kind of got interested in crypto. I thought at the time that it was the only way people have to really own their assets, their money, okay? Because fiat money is like an instrument of the government for control. It's like their only mean of control for people, and it's the strongest one. So Bitcoin solved this, and since then we are here creating xolosArmy network. And I have been in BCH, for example. I have learned about all this kind of stuff that I am talking to you there. They have a great culture, but then I prefer to go to eCash. This is also like 2 years ago because we are following the path of P2P electronic cash. Simple as that. Okay, we are not chasing DeFi, for example, like in BCH, like they are doing right now. So that's the reason I am on Cash, and then AI happens, right? And I already have like a background in what UTXO chains like technology is and all this kind of stuff. And with this background, I leverage AI and I start doing this kind of products for xolosArmy, like the Tonali wallet, that is completely open source. It is verifiable. It is permissionless, and those both values, I think, define xolosArmy. Like we are transparent, verifiable, okay, and we are also permissionless, and we use UTXO's technology to create this all this ecosystem that we have already. And our mission is to be the path or to be the guidance for people to start living in a sovereign way in this new brave world that we are living since 2020, in my opinion. Okay, people may not have know this, or but we are in a new world, I think. And AI will be exponentially helping people like me and you create these kind of tools. Okay. And recently we create this merge request for eCash because we think that eCash, for example, only have liquidity on Binance, on Korean exchanges. It is very fragile in this matter. And we already have a market cap right now of $100 million. Okay, so we can use THORChain as a mean for our community to have sovereign liquidity, native eCash that can be traded to other chains and it make us resilient in a world where we see every day how they create new laws, right? Censoring transaction in stable coins and all this kind of stuff. And UTXOs chains matter more than ever right now, I think, because they are permissionless and they are decentralized. And xolosArmy is building in this open monetary protocol that is called eCash, that is a fork of Bitcoin. Okay, we use the technology Bitcoin has. We can be traced from the Genesis block to the latest block here in eCash. So we have the same technology as them, and that's why we use some kind of we reuse, okay, like a code for putting eCash on THORChain, okay, because we have these same things that we can share, but we also differ ourselves, for example, in the eCash address, on the decimal points. Uh, Also, as I already told you, like our vision of what eCash is, like peer-to-peer electronic cash, simple as that. Also, we differ from BCH, for example, right now. So we are a different chain. We have instant finality with Avalanche protocol that we use, and this can make your transactions well faster, right? I think that you have already like spoke with Joel from Dash, for example, and he already introduced you guys to what is instant finality because they kind of use it as well. Okay, and well, here in eCash we use Avalanche, it's deterministic, and we don't use only the proof work that BCH, for example, use and BTC. So it is faster. Okay, we have sub-second finality. So we are creating also this Tejolia campaign. For people that don't know what Tejolia is, like as I told you, I was on BCH uh, in the past, and I learned from them how they finance their infrastructure. Okay, and they use their community to fund their projects. They use Flipstarter, and xolosArmy introduced this same thing, this same application that uses covenants and funding primitives, okay, to fund campaigns, to fund infrastructure inside eCash, using this coordination from people inside our community to fund what they want to see going live or going real, okay? So it is deterministic from beginning to end, our Tejolia application. That means that it has to achieve certain conditions, very strict conditions, for it to release money to the people that is asking for the money. And if it is not funded, the covenants inside the smart contract that uses script releases the money back to the people that pledge it to the campaign. Okay, so there is no human involved there, and this makes sovereign infrastructure for eCash and for you guys also, if you want to be this real for THORChain, to have this sub-second finality on your swaps. Okay, so that is what we are looking for because that like is the novelty of eCash, that we are literally permissionless money that travels as fast as the internet. Okay, and we have also all this kind of proof of work that BTC has and all this kind of stuff that makes security that gives security to our protocol. We have is taking nodes as well, so we are more secure in that way than other chains, for example, like SEC or other chains that you can attack easier. Okay, so we have a very robust um, security on the protocol.
Okay,
Using
Fernando,
this
maybe I
tool.
want to let's just
Yeah.
slow down for a sec. Maybe let's try your video again because I don't know if it's actually changed your audio. It's still about the same. So let's try turning on your video again. There we go.
Okay.
Um, so so Cholos Army is a project, a community working on eCash. You just want another a community member, if you will, or like it's not you're not officially tied to eCash or anything like that. Um,
Yeah. eCash, like ABC, they have this kind of GNC, that is the general. council, global council, for them to give money to projects that they see or they want to achieve their goals. Okay. The staking notes are the ones that decide if this money goes to the people that are working on the protocol or not. Okay. In xolosArmy, what we see there is that it is kind of centralized in some way, right? And we were from BCH, and we wanted to bring the culture from BCH that we think it is superior in that way to eCash that has the same mission that BCH has time ago. Okay, so we are like doing this kind of work for free. It can be because we do the merge request for free and all this kind of stuff, right? Because we want to collaborate with you guys because you have the same like ethics as we have, right? And we need a THORChain for liquidity as well. I know this, okay? And THORChain is way better than Binance or than Coinbase or this kind of stuff, right? You can be the next Binance. You have already told that, guys. And I agree with you. You can have all the chains inside THORChain that can be, but eCash is easier to have because we like share this UTXO history and technology and all this kind of stuff. So it will be far easier for you. I don't know how many more chains, UTXO chains there are in the market, but we are one of them. Okay.
So what is eCash then? Like, is it, so it's a stable coin? Like, how does it stay stable? How does eCash, how does it work?
Fernando, are you there?
Okay, eCash.
Go ahead.
Okay, eCash is a is a fork that happens when BCH didn't agree at the time with ABC. That is like the
What's
leading
ABC?
node. Is the leading node. The leading node implementation on Bcash is Bitcoin ABC. These guys were no were thrown out of BCH community, literally, because BCH were not. They don't like this IFP rule that ABC wanted to have on eCash on BCH at the time. Okay, so these developers ABC are getting paid from the protocol. Okay, they take fees from miners to get funded for them to build things, and they have built some good things, and I agree with that. They have created, for example, Chronic that we use here in xolosArmy. That is a magnificent tool. Okay, they have implemented Avalanche consensus on eCash, and these have been paid with IFP. Okay, so some guys in BCA didn't agree at the time, and that's why the fork happens. And BCHN, that is now the leading node implementation in BCH, are the ones that take control there. And right now, like they have changed a lot BCH. Okay, like at the time it was only low level script on BCH, and now they have tree completeness. They can create applications. They have a DeFi environment where people literally create programs, but they are no longer focused on P2P electronic cash. But they still have this history and this culture that I agree is superior in every way. Okay, they have people, very valuable people. On eCash, Cholos Army want to bring BCH culture that is permissionless, decentralized, peer-to-peer electronic cash. What they have there, we want to bring to eCash, and we have the tech on eCash, right? So we can do it. Do you hear me, guys? Do you see me?
Can't see you, but we can still hear you.
We can hear you.
Okay.
But I'm sorry, Fernando, I'm still confused. So eCash is a stable coin. It trades at $1, right?
And no, eCash is a fork of BCH. You know what BCH is? Bitcoin.
Yeah.
It's a UTXO chain. Okay, it
Oh, so
uses
it's not.
low-level script. It uses
I'm
proof
sorry.
of work. Yeah.
It's not a stable coin. I'm sorry.
No, no.
Okay.
ABC team, like they created a stable coin very recently, and they are treating it like it is everything. Well, no. Okay. Yeah, it is a very good business nowadays. Stable coins, I think. Okay, but no, it is not a stable coin. It is literally Bitcoin. The best Bitcoin in the market, I think, in my opinion, because right now I swap every day XEC eCash using, I don't know, change now or whatever, and instantly I get the swap. Okay, because they know we have instant finality. Okay, if I use BCH or any other coin, maybe I will have to wait like 2 hours or three, because it's like the kind of time that they require for them to be able to swap anything there. Very recently, BCH, like they want to change their 10-minute block to 1 minute, and if they can, they will put it like in seconds, like a second block, because they have this problem. We on eCash have solved this problem, so we are ahead of any other UTXO chain on the market. We have
Okay.
already solved this.
Okay, I'm sorry. I have to apologize. I should have done some better research before we did our podcast. So,
Yeah,
is eCash a fork of Bitcoin Cash? That
yeah, you can say, right?
okay, okay.
Like they were literally thrown out from the community on BCH. Okay, but we have the roadmap.
Do you see
Okay,
this here,
so the
Fernando? Do
roadmap
you
of Bitcoin Cash was originally created by Bitcoin ABC, now eCash, and we have been consistent with this roadmap still today. And we have the
got
best technology in the UTXO market because we are ahead of all of them in technology. We
so
want to
so
improve culture, for example, using the Yoli application that I already told you for funding our infrastructure. Okay, what we need is very better culture, like you guys. We want culture like THORChain or like BCH. That is what xolosArmy wants.
got
Cool.
you, got you, Fernando. So on eCash, it looks like it's similar to Bitcoin's tokenomics, except instead of 21 million, it's 21 trillion. And that's because you guys want to use it as a peer-to-peer form of payment. I assume you decide to make that tokenomic change to because 20 when there's more humans on the earth than than there are Bitcoin, for example. Then nominally it's kind of you're dealing with fractions of a thing. So you're using when you have 21 trillion, you're going to be using nominally, assuming the value of eCash. So does that make sense what I'm saying? Like, so that's how it is, right? Is
Yeah.
that it's kind of like the thinking there?
We differ from BCH basically on the decimal points. Okay, so you count by satoshis, we count by bits,
Ah,
and
I
when
see.
you
I see.
count on eCash, you have to divide by 100 or multiply by 100, depending on where you are seeing uh, the code.
That makes
Okay,
sense.
yeah. So we do this for you guys to say, I will send you 100 XCC to your wallet instead of saying I will send 10,000 satoshis. Okay, or something like that. Yeah, so it is simpler. It is simpler. It is simpler to send
Yeah.
100 XCC. Okay, so we are
Right.
counting as if we were fiat, not as if we were whatever thing the other chains are doing. I will send you 1 million satoshis. It's awful for the market
Right.
to adopt. Okay, so we are thinking like peer-to-peer electronic cash for being it used as money. That's why we do the decimal points. And we also have like the eCash address that is like BCH, but instead of saying Bitcoin Cash, okay, two dots and the address, we say eCash two dots and the address. Okay, so that is the main difference. But nowadays, today, we are super different to BCH. Like they are, I don't know, Cash VM, like Cash Virtual Machine. We are still like low level script. So we are using XOChain, Bitcoin as the original, but faster and all this kind of stuff. Okay, I don't know. I am not saying that BCH is wrong, Like they take this other path because BCHN is now in controller. Okay, and that is their vision for BCH to be successful.
What is the throughput? I know you have like instant finality. I caught that. Someone put in the comments, there's protection against double spend. You know,
Yeah.
it's a okay. You can have layer twos, but they can be gasless. I think. Okay, I have
Uh-huh.
lots to break down. Let me keep it simple. Let me keep it
Yeah.
simple. Like, what's the
Yeah.
throughput on eCache? Let's start there.
Well, eCache has a roadmap, right? So that is good. On xolosArmy, we like that because we know where we are going. Like it is not something that you will be surprised in the future. Okay? So it's good for business. That's why we start creating Tonali wallet, for example, our wallet that we created, the Jolly and all our ecosystem. Okay, and this roadmap goes to subnets, for example, what you are telling. Like we can create subnets because we have Avalanche protocol atop from the UTXO main consensus. Okay, like we have the same consensus at BTC. So miners actually get the transactions. Uh, uh, get flow in the transactions. Okay, they validate the transaction to miners. Okay, but the top Avalanche consensus, what it does is that it gets this deterministic consensus of which transactions will go to miners for them to be mined. So you cannot roll ¿cómo se? You cannot roll down the the chain. Okay, because
Okay.
consensus is already finalized in 3 seconds, so you cannot mess with the chain. Okay, already knows which transactions will go to be uh, validated by miners. Okay, so the miners get less work to do because, as you know, miners they do is like they do these nouns once over and over again. So they see if a transaction is true or not. But we on Avalanche, like we already told the miners, this transaction is good. Take it. Okay. And this is the main the THORChain. So you cannot try with other miners to attack the chain and all this kind of stuff because Avalanche consensus already told the miners which are the ones that are the true ones. So this is security, guys. Okay,
Okay.
and the subnet thing that you are telling me, they don't have any documentation. Okay, I am going to tell ABC, please roll out the documentation for subnets for xolosArmy to start working on creating these subnets. Okay, that basically are Turing complete for builders. Okay, so you can create whatever you can do on Ethereum or EVM. You will can do and in subnets inside eCache. And this also is something that other chains don't have. And we are not messing with the L1. So we can create all this stuff outside in a clean way. And this is good.
So for the subnets, is this similar? Just trying to understand by just comparing to something like subnets like Tau. Are you familiar with Tau? Is it something like that where you have eCache and then you have subnets underneath it that are doing a variety of different things?
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
accurate?
You can create a subnet meant for privacy, for SAK privacy. Okay. You can do a subnet only for your enterprise. For example, in xolosArmy, we can do a DAO on a subnet. We can do whatever you can do. I don't know what else you can do, like a DEX. that ¿cómo se llama? Al LLM, you can create it on a subnet. You cannot create it inside eCache because in a UTXO chain like eCache, you cannot do that. Okay, you can only do atomic swaps, for example. On
Okay.
Tonali Wallet, you can do atomic swaps, okay, from RMC, chose RMC E token to eCash. But we cannot do these pools like in Ethereum you can, okay?
Okay.
These liquidity pools. But in a subnet you will do it, because you will can do it. But
Okay,
nowadays, we don't have that documentation. We want it to be like open for everybody to start creating.
Okay. So, and I'm sorry I keep mentioning tau, but I'm trying to put a model in my brain so I kind of understand. I'm trying to juxtapose and see if there's a significant
I am
difference.
not
So,
expert on Ethereum. I have some experience on Ethereum, like in Smart BCH when BCH has their sidechain. I was there. Okay, I know Solidity and all this kind of stuff, pools and liquidity and bridges, and I know that they are very dangerous. Okay, these wrap tokens that go from one chain to another is awful. So I know for that matter that THORChain is the good way, the good path. Okay, but I
okay.
am not very into DeFi and all this kind of stuff. I am more a UTXO guy. Okay, that's why I'm not. I don't know what is Tao, for example. I don't have context.
Okay. Okay. So let's break it down. So we have eCash right here, right?
Yeah.
eCash, and then you have subnets, right? So
Uh,
here's eCash. Do you have to like stake or use eCash in a way for the subnets, right? What's the exact relationship? Could you break that down a
yeah.
little bit? Because I'm not clear on that relationship.
Well, you don't need bridges to go from the subnet to L1 on eCash. That's one thing that is very important. Okay, you don't need bridges. Like you can transfer native eCash to these side chains because the nodes agree that is eCash native eCash. Okay, the nodes are so important for this to happen. The avalanche nodes. So it is not like a normal sidechain that you will have to go from one sidechain to another using a bridge that is controlled with the multi-sig of two guys and it's wrap tokens that they do this business model with them and all this kind of stuff. No, you can travel eCash from L1 to sidechain, and that is very cool. Okay. So that's one thing. Other is that with the sidechains, theoretically, you can create anything that you can create on EVM on the sidechain, on the on the subnet. Excuse me.
Is there a stable coin subnet right now? Because someone in the
No,
comments posted. Okay.
that's a good idea, right? But as I tell you, like I want that documentation from ABC, right? They don't have it, so I cannot tell you. It will be tomorrow the subnets because I don't see it.
I
Okay,
see.
so
Okay.
it is more theoretical than reality in that way.
Okay, so what is it's this is a UTXO based chain. I know you've talked about,
Uh-huh.
the linkages to Avalanche. Like what if for a THORChain node operator who's listening to this, what is the cost to run a daemon? Is it relatively
Ooh,
cheap like other UTXOs?
it's super cheap to run an eCash node. Like in xolosArmy, we have our chronic node, chronic.xolosArmy.xyz. And we use a ThinkPad as our node. Okay. It is we don't need a lot of for example our SSD like is it two terabytes. Okay, we need only like 36 gigabytes of RAM and all this kind of stuff. We can download a node on eCash like in 1 day, the complete node in 1 day. Uh,
And you need 2 terabytes and 36 gigabytes of RAM.
yeah, with a ThinkPad, you can run an eCash node.
That sounds like a lot.
Oh, right. I run a ThinkPad like with an SSD of 2 terabytes. Of course, it is not full, right? Like I have only used like 10% of the ThinkPad or something like that. No, 38% of the memory. But we want to scale, of course, and we need money for infrastructure. But with that we can run an eCash node.
Okay. Let's see here. So we have eCash UTXO based for node operators, cheap to run, but it's going to require 2 terabytes of data, 32 gigs of RAM, I believe it was said. Okay. Let's see here.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
like any laptop you want to buy, like you need like 36 megabytes of RAM and a 2 terabyte SSD. Like you need at least that if you want to do anything on a computer.
I understand.
If you go less than that, it is only meant for using Office or something like that that all people do, right? But if you want AI or whatever, you need 64 gigabytes, for example. Okay, and yes, with only that ThinkPad, we are running the node, and we have also other public nodes that we use that they are run by ABC. So that is the good thing of being in a protocol, in an open protocol, decentralized and all this kind of stuff. But we want redundancy, of course, right? Like we are looking for redundancy in everything, in on all the infrastructure that we have.
Okay. Okay, let's do hypothetical scenario here. Let's wave a magic wand. Let's say eCash is on THORChain, right? We have a liquidity pool. It's there, and now people can swap, in and out of eCash with a variety of the assets supported on THORChain. Immediately connected. Like, what is the community of eCash? What is your next move? What makes you excited about that? What would you do? Let's just say that happens. What's next for you guys?
For xolosArmy on eCash,
Sure. Yeah. What's the
yeah,
vision?
for
The vision.
xolosArmy on eCash, basically we want to create the culture of money, of peer-to-peer electronic cash. Okay, so in this moment we are creating a marketplace that uses escrows, for example, for people to be able to buy in physical world with fiat and be paid with XCC when the contract is done. Okay, so in Mexico it's very common, for example, for people to see that they work in Ubers and Airbnbs and all these kind of things, and they are being very heavily taxed, for example. And these same people can buy from the supermarket food or something on Amazon and be paid with XCC on the supermarket that we are creating. That is already on our GitHub. Like everything we do on xolosArmy, we do it openly, okay, verifiable. So we like this because this culture, I think, will make a human renaissance in the future. Like if we were able to create all this stuff because of open source, other people will use it as well and will be better than us, or we will get better as well because we are sharing information. Okay? We are sharing data and code and also leveraging AI. Okay, so we want this to happen in xolosArmy network. Okay, and also we have make simpler, for example, for Tonali wallet users to send XCC from one Tonali wallet to the other by using the alias protocol that you can put, for example, I don't know, THORChain.xcc, that is your address, and you will send it to kenton.xcc. And you don't have to put all the cash and else. So we are making simpler for people to send payments. Okay, we have a DEX for exchanging our RNC token. That is the gate for all our ecosystem. For example, if you want to create a Tejolia campaign, which you can create, you have to pay RNZ. That is our token. Okay. So we have gated our ecosystem in some way, in some applications with this token, and it is its use case. Okay, it is not speculative, but it is a key to open the door. Okay, and all this can be built on eCash. So that's the thing. What else? We have NFTs. We have a lineage of Cholos Cuencles, as you know. Here we have one. And we register their pedigree, their information, their historical data on the eCash blockchain using IPFS, using also the up return functionality inside eCash. Okay, and the data gets permanent there, and all the people that has a xoloscuencle of ours, which we breed, like you can see them on our Explorer, on Cholos Explorer. Okay, and then you can see our community, which we are creating with this xolosArmy network. We want to be a network, literally. If I can, I would want to create a country. Okay, but we need an Iceland for that.
Sure, yeah.
I'm too
So that
optimistic. I'm too optimistic.
Yeah, I understand. No, we're all optimistic here. We're all dreamers. We're all
I am too.
believers. We are here to build something that makes the lives of everyone better. Kenton loves to say bank the unbank. I love that too, right? In the very beginning of the conversation, you talked about fiat currency and just the pain it causes. And you are based in Mexico, right? You are to the south of me. You are my neighbor. So is this something your vision? You want eCash maybe to replace the peso, to be an alternative for people to be able to use for
No,
payments? Is this
no,
okay?
no. Because Mexico has its jurisdiction. USA has its jurisdiction. That's the thing. Okay, you see the Matrix?
Yes.
So this is my jurisdiction. eCash protocol, the money
Right.
protocol. That's my jurisdiction. Well, no, it's not mine, but there is where I am creating my ecosystem. But I cannot govern this physical jurisdiction that is Mexico. For that, I would need to do something very, very different. Okay, I would need to do, I don't know,
Can I
maybe. Mhm.
let me rephrase a little bit. So what I meant to say is if you have eCash, you're giving people an alternative, right? Because you want people to use eCash for a variety of things.
Yeah,
You want
with the
you
marketplace, that we are creating, you can buy products with fiat and get paid with XCC for the service that you did. So
okay.
with that, you are using XCC, but outside the system for people in the system to do what you want. And this can be used, for example, for, I don't know, agents that we will see very near in the future, which will buy stuff on the internet or will hire humans in the physical world. And that is the main idea. Like you on eCash can hire someone on the physical jurisdiction to do things and get paid when it is finished in an escrow without humans deterministically. And that will be something people can trust because it is not a smart contract. It is all things we are creating on xolosArmy network are deterministic. So if you have certain conditions, it will get done. Okay. If not, if you don't reach the conditions, it will not happen. Okay. There are no backdoors. You can verify the code and all this. It's like our ethos. Okay. Like open, verifiable, open source, permissionless, deterministic. Okay, we use low-level script. Okay, so
Gotcha.
I
Gotcha.
think this is great. Okay, this is great what we are doing right now with eCash technology. And yes, on THORChain, you guys can benefit of using XCC by having this kind of opportunity to swap natively using THORChain that I think is the best protocol for DeFi. Okay, to exchange from one chain to another.
Love it. I love it. What is the right now with eCash? And we have xolosArmy eCash. What is the usage? Because right, any chain on THORChain, its existence is justified by the volume that it attracts. That's how it pays for itself. And of course, we want a
Yeah.
profit because of the volume. So, what does the
Yes.
activity look like now for eCash?
Uh-huh. Well, we are not too strong, if I am honest with you. Okay,
Oh,
but
you're
they
not
have
too
done
strong.
a good
Okay.
job. Okay, you can replace Binance, for example. They use wrap XCC on the US. Any exchange on the USA is accepting eCash right now. We are worldwide. We have 100 million in market cap. Okay, but we are not in the USA. We have a lot of node stakers, people with a huge money on eCash, protecting the network, which cannot get into XCC on an exchange. If we are in THORChain, all you guys will benefit from these guys, which cannot enter USA exchanges to use THORChain.
So okay, so
We're just
basically,
talking about that before when
Yeah.
you're having your camera trouble. That's
Yes,
exactly what
because
we were
it's a,
talking
it's a
about.
huge opportunity, guys, to
Yeah,
take
yeah,
control of the market
yeah.
in
yes.
eCash. Yes.
Exactly. It's the effect of being on THORChain that is what unlocks the power of that
Yeah,
network
and
effect.
these guys need it. They don't seem like they need it because I don't know. They don't want to promote xolosArmy because we are radical, but they need to get into THORChain, and they have put a developer on the core product of of core ABC to check the code. They don't do anything, but they revise the code. Okay. Also, StarScript, and they both agree it is ready for merging.
Love it.
Okay.
Awesome.
It's ready.
You know,
Starskid he went through it all. Like we
Yeah.
can
Mhm.
uh
Yeah. Yeah. StarScript like asking. He said, I can take it to production. You only have to do this. I did it. And that's all.
we should talk. I should talk to him and chat and see because if it's all done and ready
Yeah.
to go,
Mhm. Yeah.
maybe in the
So,
next update we can get it live. Um, do you have liquidity lined up? So do you understand? Do you know what's going on with THORChain right now? Maybe I'll just explain it. So there's no right now. There's no yield going to liquidity providers. There's
yeah, I
and
know that.
so
Only
you know
for
that. Okay.
nodes runners, right?
Yeah. And so, and it's been like that for several months now. And um, I I believe, I mean, I'm pushing for this. I think you are too, Denny. Chad's on board. I think I haven't heard any real pushback from the community, but I think what we're going to move to is protocol owned liquidity model, where instead of sending yield to LPs, the yield goes to the protocol, and the protocol becomes a liquidity provider. And so any it's still open where an individual can provide liquidity to the pool, but they're not going to get any yield. They're just going to experience impermanent loss. And
Yeah.
so this would be what we need from the eCash community, from you guys, is to provide that initial liquidity um, to seed the pool. So like anywhere from like 50 to 100 grand. 50 grand should be good. And you would own it. You have control. You have self custody, but it's going to be a cost because you're just going to experience impermanent loss over time. And
Yeah,
then
I know.
ideally, hopefully, the protocol will be adding to that pool and become the majority liquidity provider in the eCash pool so that you can eventually withdraw your liquidity if you want, and recoup some capital, take some money off the table, and that would just be your real cost. That impermanent loss is your cost of getting on THORChain, which I think would be dramatically cheaper than any other centralized exchange. You know, they all want 30, 50, 100 grand fee, right? 2% of your token supply, whatever. Um, so I like to think the cost of actually getting liquidity on THORChain would be much cheaper than any other centralized exchange.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with
yeah,
that. I am not promising return on investments, for example. The Julia campaign is only for infrastructure, liquidity infrastructure. Okay. And it will be community funded. So we need, Kenton said 50 grand. Okay. Okay. So we have to like revise that thing. Also, the Julia campaign, like when it is finished, when it is completed, you can send it to a nick cash address. Okay. We can put the address of the liquidity pool for when it to finish, be sent to the liquidity pool directly. But we have to like coordinate that stuff.
yeah, it makes
Okay.
sense. And like the thing
Yeah.
is, like what Kenton's saying, right, is there's so many assets to add to. I mean, there's literally thousands of assets, right? And so what's really cool about it when you think about it is when someone adds, they seed the pool and they inquire in permanent loss. What's cool is
Yeah.
the protocol itself actually becomes a net buyer of eCash because it's constantly pushing liquidity into the pool with the POL mechanism,
Yeah.
unlike say a centralized exchange, which just takes a percentage of the supply and liquidates as needed or whatever they want to do in order to siphon value. Like the protocol itself actually deposits liquidity with the POL into the pool, and the arbitrage on that depth, right? The arbitrage of rebalancing the pools, we make money on that. And so it's just a much more healthy way to do it. It's just that initial step, right? So yeah, if there's like some crowdfunding thing or whatever to get that, I'm not exactly sure how it works, obviously, but once you get that part done, the chain client sounds
Yeah.
like the chain client's there. We see the liquidity, we're off to the races. We're ready to go,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah, I
that's
know.
all that's all we need.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, so
love it.
yeah, the community has to fund it. Okay. Maybe ABC can give money for the cost to be funded as well. I know they are interested, so that is a good thing because they have the big box inside the community. There are all the stakers of the network. Okay. You guys, maybe if you want to see Gcash on THORChain as well, you can put your XCC into the Teolia campaign. I will revise the current one because maybe we need more money, and we can also put like the address of the liquidity pool, okay, for it to go there. How we will coordinate this, I have to
Can you
ask.
can you put ABC? I don't know who these ABC people are, but can you put them in contact with Kenton? Like, let's just get a conversation
Yeah,
going right there. That way,
I think that they
it.
are seeing I think that they are seeing this. I already
Yeah,
watched Kush, that is like one of the people that work with them, like tweeting about the live emission, and I was not there, and he was tweeting. Imagine that.
yeah, I understand. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
they know, and they want
oh,
it. I can talk
perfect.
with Kush maybe to be like the emissary between ABC and THORChain because we have to coordinate also like the Teolia and
Makes sense.
for it
Yeah.
to be community funded, right? Yeah,
Yeah. If like the one thing that sounds like is a friction point is communication. We love just
yeah.
let's just fix
I
that.
will
Just
use
direct
Kush.
communication
I,
with
I, I
whoever
have
we
good
need. Doesn't
communication
matter.
with him, and he worked with Amari and all these guys. Also, I can talk with Amari. I have talked with him, but maybe I can talk with Kush. Maybe like it's a better kind of communication because he is more like he works in that way. Amari is more like he only do some things. He talks sometimes, and it's different. But with Kush, I can have a transparent communication with you guys. Also, I can update you of what we are talking about, deciding, and we can coordinate this. And money was meant for coordination of information. And from okay, we will coordinate using the money to make this come true. Okay,
Perfect.
Nice.
okay.
Okay. Kenton, did you want to add anything to that? I want to make sure I don't speak for you.
No, I think it's good. Like, I mean, uh, you can even start at 25 grand. I think 50 is a good sweet spot. 100 would
Yeah,
be great. Then you like,
yeah, it's like the
um,
mid 50. Okay.
yeah, I think 50 is a good target because then you should be able to get because well that's not just for like THORChain doesn't really care size of your pool. I'm thinking about your audience. The people
Mhm.
want to trade buy sell
Yeah,
XEC.
of course they want, like they need it.
Yeah,
Okay, so I will talk with them.
yeah,
With Mark.
yeah. I think with 50 grand you'd be able to handle the majority of volume, like without a lot of slippage. So, yeah. Um, well, that's great, man. I should talk to. I'll touch base with Star Squid, see where we're at, and maybe we can get it going on the next update. Um, do you know has there been any testing on ChainNet? Has he been testing like with XEC on ChainNet? Has he been trading it and playing with it?
For the merge request you said, like I
No,
have all the
on
simulation not met.
no on ChainNet. It's like our test ground, our test environment to make
No, I have
sure.
made local tests, for example, also the CI/CD. Okay, continuous integration, all this on the code. The magnet simulations, all work fast inside my computer. And right now, TSS, it's like a ¿cómo se? Cadenero. The one who controls which code enters or not to the Thor node code. is the TSS. Okay, and I cannot run the TSS right now. Like it is run by StarSquid right now, and he will do the running and put it into production. That's what he said. Like you guys change some things when you get this incident a while ago, and that changed. So I cannot run that TSS, and you guys will run it. Okay. Well, I have made all the simulations in Magnet. Okay, on my local computer. They all passed, and it was already revised by stars with the code, and he was glad with the code. And the only thing is that there was no wallet created automatically, and I resolved that thing. And in this moment, can get into production. That's what he said.
Okay. Well, then it sounds like the next hurdle is just getting liquidity.
Yeah.
So, I think from our side, if everything's ready to go, then we can plan to have it go out in a, we can plan which update it can go live, and we'll have an estimated, date for that update to go through, and then that'll give you time to plan and go raise the liquidity and know when you'll need it by. And
Yeah.
so you should have a good month or 2 months notice, or when we would go live. Um, but I'll talk to Starsquid. I don't know. Maybe we can do it as quickly as 3.20, and that'd be in like 4 to 6 weeks type thing.
Okay.
So I'll ask them, see where we're at, and yeah. But if, in my opinion, in my mind, let's get you guys on sooner rather than later. Like there's no need
Let's
to
go.
delay. It's all ready. Let's go. Let's do it. Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
Well,
This is the whole this is the whole point, Fernando, is like THORChain just wants to connect everyone, right? Like we don't care, right? We just like I believe that there are some incredible protocols out there, the most amazing technology, some of the most diehard passionate individuals who have our shared ethos, right? They just need a shot.
Yeah.
They just need a chance. And THORChain is that chance. It gives them access to everything. We are not a gatekeeper. We open the gates. We open the gates for everybody. That's what we do. And so, yeah, like Kenton said, just to tack on, I love it. And we want to, me and Kenton, if we had the power, we want to aggressively add as many changes as we possibly can. We just want to go. We want to go for it. So
Yeah.
I'm excited. I hope
will
you're
benefit
excited,
from
man.
adding this. Like it's a very good technology, I think. That is, it's main thing. We have the technology to free humankind. Okay, that's what it is, and we will be glad to be added in THORChain. Okay.
Nice.
I love it. I love it.
Fernando, is there anything else you want to talk about that we haven't touched on?
I think it's all for now. Only you can maybe visit Tonali wallet, this app.tonali.cash, Julia.cash, that is our Flip starter.
Whoa, slow down. Can you type it in the public chat? Maybe type it in the message on the public chat, and then we can post it.
Yeah, we share it on screen. Love it. Awesome. Yes. All right, let's see here. Yeah, this is great. I love it. Let's go. Let's go. Let's see. It's funny how your dog keeps messing with you. When I have my dog, I take him for like a walk really early in the morning, and I make him just unbelievably exhausted, so he just sleeps through the whole thing. Otherwise, he'd be jumping on me and wanting to lick my face and attack me, So, and I feed him a big breakfast too, so he gets into a food coma.
Well, I have a lot of xolosArmy. Okay, like it is a Mexican dog, and its name comes from a god that is called Xolotl. Okay, that was the god of the underworld, which guided humankind when the sun was traveling on the underworld to be reborn. Okay, so for example, if you see Apocalypto, did you see the movie?
Oh, of course I did.
Which
yes.
one?
You see an eclipse happening. The eclipse, when they were sacrificing this dude, an eclipse happened. a solar
Yes.
eclipse. Well, that solar eclipse is when the sun is traveling to a new era. It's symbolic. Okay, so Xolotl, the god of the underworld, where it came the name from of the Xoloscuincle, is the god that guides the sun for a new era to start. In the human translation, is it guides humans in their life to be reborn again. Okay, they have to travel the Mictlan, that is the underworld in the Mexica tradition. So in xolosArmy, we are doing this, that. Okay, we are guiding humanity to a new era where we are
Great.
sovereign and we can have a renaissance as a species, which I think we need a lot. Okay, because I only see circus in the news. Okay, I see a lot of things, and humans have no control of that. And we can start having control with this kind of tech, okay, technology, and community, which can coordinate, which is like the purpose of any community to coordinate humans, right, to achieve a
Right.
stuff.
Yep.
I
Yeah,
love it.
totally.
I checked out the links that you provided. So looks interesting. I would just request. I know you guys are just getting started. I totally understand new project and all that stuff. But if you could add, I don't see it. Maybe I'm missing it. Language support for other languages, of course.
Yeah, I
Y
was told that.
española mala.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I
Perfect.
will add also English, maybe in a tab for people to switch to other languages, English specifically. Yeah, because
That would be
I
the
was
yeah.
I was told that also in the past. Like they need that. We are too focused on Mexico because we have eCash Mexico, as you know. Also, like
Of
I
course.
can share that as well.
Everyone
And
has to
eCash
start
Mexico,
somewhere. Totally understand.
yeah, eCash Mexico is like our effort for eCash here.
Okay.
And we have all the ecosystem. We have created also like a library, okay, an npm library and all this kind of stuff. Like we are accepting builders as well in eCash Mexico
Perfect,
to start
man.
building, okay, using
L-
our stuff.
Love it. Love it. Yeah, I think some of the most amazing teams that I've met, are based in Mexico.
Mhm.
Mocha, Maya Protocol, that's our sister fork there. Team is heavily based in Mexico. So I love it. I just love that my southern neighbors are really just making technology that's really moving progress forward. So this is great. I think Mexico is just a crypto hotbed. You guys are killing it down there. You're doing great.
It has a
So
lot of potential, I think.
yeah,
We have not yet created anything near a community in Mexico, but we have
next
people. We have some kind of culture that is libertarian. They don't know it yet, but they are libertarian. Okay, and yeah, I think there is a lot of potential in Mexico.
Mexicans for the win, buddy. That's all I'm saying. Fernando, before we
Yeah,
wrap up this thing real quick, last is there anything else, man, or do you think we should wrap it up? This has been really fun today.
yeah. Well, we have an incident in the beginning. Okay, but it's fun. For those, it's fun. Okay, we have it like it's very common for us to have this kind of stuff. Okay, and it's kind of ¿cómo se? Our brand.
Yeah, you're charming. Totally.
Yeah, yeah.
I totally get it,
Uh,
man. Listen. This is what it is. We don't no judgment here. We're here to give everyone a voice and give everyone a shot. That's what THORChain's all about, man. So we love
yeah.
it. You guys have put in the effort to make the chain client. That's so important. Me and Kenton were
Mhm.
talking while you were figuring out your audio issues. That's what we talked about. We loved seeing that initiative, and so that's great.
Exactly.
And that's all it takes really to get on THORChain. If you just put a little sweat equity, a little hard work into getting onto THORChain, we're gonna see that. We're gonna respect it. So yeah, I'm with Kenton. He's gonna touch
Yes.
base with Star Squid. Let's get you going, man. I love it. We're gonna move this forward. All right.
Okay, Danny and Kenton, thank you very much for having me. Okay,
Yeah.
xolosArmy.
And
Okay.
don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us, okay, when we end the show. Okay. We'll make sure you
Okay.
update on your client side. Perfect. Kenton, was there anything else before we wrap it up, my friend?
No, that's great, man. Thank you, Fernando. Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
welcome. Thank you.
Thank Thank you, Fernando. Okay, guys, so this is going to wrap up the show. Please, guys, I hope you've had a great time. It's been really awesome. Next Saturday, we're going to be talking to Amir Taki. I hope I'm saying that correctly. A KOL and a Monero really sounds like a very powerful OG in the space. I'm actually really, I didn't realize the celebrity of this individual, so I'm kind of really excited to talk to this individual. It's going to feel like an honor. And then the next Saturday, we're going to be talking to Bazaar Swap or Bazaar Swap. I'm sorry again.
Bizarre.
This is what we do. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kenton.
You've heard the word bizarre. It's bizarre. Bizarre swap.
It's Bazaar. Okay, it's spelled differently. Phonetically, I'm trying to say it correctly. Bazaar Swap. So we're gonna be talking with them. Nikita from @DecenterNet. So very cool, guys. And of course, always on our Thursdays, we have our updates. So hopefully next Thursday, we're back to trading, or we're at least extremely close to trading. So we'll see you guys. But I'm not giving any more time predictions because that has not worked out for me so far. Okay, guys, if you'd like to become a node operator on THORChain and need some help, please reach out to @Runtard on X. He can help you get set up and find bond providers. For THORChain data and insights, please follow @RayAnalytics on X. He does written recaps of these podcasts too, so keep an eye out for that. And always remember, guys, these views are expressed solely of the hosts and guests. Any action taken based on the information is at your own risk. Past performance is not indicative of future results, and THORChain community does not endorse or condone illicit activity of any kind whatsoever. With that being said, thank you, Kenton. Thank you, Fernando. I hope everyone has a great rest of your day. We'll see you next time. Take care, guys.